done, he comes out and says before they start voting that this is what I want. Because what's the point in saying you have a preferred candidate without mentioning it up to
clamoring for the South?
Yeah. No, I believe
interest.
His candidate is from the South, but I think will be something. Maybe the result may not shock us, but I do see a shock like in this convention one way or another. Okay, it may come down to Tinubu at the end or the vice president or Amaechi. Like for me, Amaechi is the dark horse in this. Like a lot of my friends will not agree, but I think, I'm not saying he will emerge, right? But he has a very, very big role to play here. So, and I think the turmoil thing happening here will be kind of cliche. So I'm expecting a bit more drama and a bit more tension. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Thank you so much, Sadiq. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure listening to your perspective. So back to reading tweets. Ogagun said, what made Tinubu and OYO, I think he means PYO, what made Tinubu and PYO the leading contender is how is Yahaya Bello the least with the chance? I just want reasons. I mean, Lolu, I could give you reasons, to be honest. Tinubu and PYO, for obvious reasons, are way stronger contenders than Yahaya Bello. One, based off of their political history. Two, based off of popularity alone. I don't think those are things we can argue in terms of the fact that Tinubu, popularity, I don't mean between us on Twitter, I mean within their parties. And in politics, because clearly, not clearly, but I'm guessing you're not so conversant with political terms. In politics, popularity doesn't mean how well you are known, but who is behind you? Like, who are your loyal? Who is behind you? Who is actually behind you? In terms of, when it comes to the general election, it comes then to the public. Who is behind you in terms of the public? But when it comes, while we're still in party primaries, who is behind you in your party? So this is me taking time to educate you, Ogagun, and I hope you send your tithes to me after this education. So Yahaya Bello has been in Kogi State. Kogi State is not a very big state. It's not one of the most popular states either. It's not one of the states that holds Nigeria down in terms of business or in terms of anything per se. So that alone, the positioning of the state alone, takes down his popularity. Two, comparing him with these two people, Tinubu, who has led the APC for years, who has made kings. I mean, for you to be able to brag about it, for you to actually say out, means that it's somewhat true. Do you understand what I mean? So Tinubu has made kings, and Tinubu holds a lot of obvious, I don't even know why I have to explain this, but Tinubu is obviously a force in Nigerian politics generally, not just in the APC, I mean in Nigerian politics in general. Osinbajo, on the other hand, is the vice president. Really, as of right now, in terms of office, that is the closest person to the president. Arguably, Osinbajo might be the arguably could be the president's candidate. We don't know that, but Osinbajo is in a place of power, way higher power than Yahaya Bello has. So I hope that these two, and also sometimes you can just know strength based off of media conversations. How many times do we really see Yahaya Bello in actual political conversations? Let's, if we can be honest with ourselves, most of the time Yahaya Bello comes, and speaking as someone that reports the news, not only do I put out the news, but I also go to read feedback off of what is being put out in the news. That's one thing that is, because reading feedback is you understanding where the people's minds are at. So from my own reading feedback off of every news story I have put out of Yahaya Bello, go on Instagram, check Paul's Instagram, anywhere you see Yahaya's face, open the comments and read there. It's not that hard. That's feedback for me, but that's also people's comments for you anyways. People find news about Yahaya Bello as a joke. This is general sentiment, as a joke. So already you kind of know that, like, no one will really take this guy seriously as a president. He's maybe a good governor in his state. I haven't really gone down to it, but generally he doesn't hold that weight. He doesn't hold as much serious weight as the other two people that you're trying to compare him with, and I hope that's a good enough explanation. I've spent time on that. So moving forward, you sent me another long one, but I can't give you two. I can't read your tweets. I can't read two tweets from you. So SP Lawan, this is the limit breaker, said SP, the Senate President Lawan, to step down for BAT. I don't know where you heard that from, but until it happens, I'm not going to take that as serious news. PYO says, what is the beef with our eloquence? Yes, those of you that have been attacking Osinbajo's people, that they are eloquent, PYO is asking you now, what is the beef with our eloquence? Did I hear Tinubu with the word credible? You probably did. I don't know who you heard it from, but you probably did. I think I heard that too. And if it's not credible, you have to come up and tell us why it's not credible, because I don't understand what you want to argue about. If someone told you that it's credible, you tell us why it's not credible. K10 said, you like Tinubu, so tell me, why did the things happen on October 20th, 2020 happen? You like Tinubu, but ignore the NSAS tragedy? What's going on? Good question, bro. What's going on? Prince Ugo says, if Tinubu should lose these primaries, he will not be the same, because he has been parading other people's failures and how he turned their lives around just by him supporting them. So it will be a big slap on his face. That's very true. I have to agree with that. So back here to Paul's political spaces, we have before Raji, we have FSJ online. FSJ, do you have anything to say to us? You can unmute your mic. Welcome to Paul's Political Spaces.
Hi, Yuma. Good evening.
Welcome. So, what's your thoughts on everything that's happening? Do you have predictions for us? Tell us something.
Okay, I'd say for now. I'd say maybe predictions, because but it's very clear where the government of the day, where their position lies currently. I mean, it's very clear, but for now, let's say predictions, because of course, officially, the decision has not been made via voting. But
what is very clear? I mean, nothing is clear to me. The
position of the APC government currently, the cabal and those in power that want to pass the party.
Because me, I don't see anything that is clear. So tell me.
Okay, so for me, from what I know currently, I know that they want to hand over the baton to PYO. I know that the government of the day is not likely to give power to somebody that they cannot control, and Tinubu is not someone that they can control. Once Tinubu, gets it, it's going to be very difficult for them to even have that control over him, in any way. So, and then Osinbajo, on the other hand, is someone that seems to be the calm person that, to some extent, they can control, and is someone that has been with them per se, as far being the vice president, and will just carry on the legacy of the current government as well. So it looks very much like it is going to be an Osinbajo thing, but it's still like at this time a prediction, because of course the voting has not been casted. So the other thing I want to point is for the APC government to let Tinubu take power, it means that it's going to be complicated, because how do you even bring somebody along, when I'm talking about maybe the Muslim ticket and the Muslim Christian ticket, who is going to be his vice, and then do you have to get somebody from the north, which is what is meant to be for them to be able to stand against the PDP, which is going to be Atiku, and maybe the likes of Peter Obi from the Labour Party, who has definitely a vice from the north as well. So if Tinubu is the flag bearer, it means that we would need somebody from the north, and that person is likely to be a Muslim. I don't see a reputable or a prominent Christian leader coming in from the north to be the vice to Tinubu. And then if you have a vice from the north, that means a Muslim ticket, and that's not going to fly for APC. So it's complicated if they have to let Tinubu have it. They know these things. But for PYO, if PYO being from the south and then you have a northern vice, it's a Christian Muslim ticket. It's very simple, and there's no complication to that, and that gives them an edge, against the opposition in the general elections. So it's very clear. But of course, Tinubu is someone that deserves it based on the agreement that they've had in the past and all of that. So it's difficult to just come out plain and say, see, you can't be this because of these reasons and all that. It's not going to take it lightly. And I know that at the end of the day, after this election, it's going to be clear that, okay, this is the position of the party. And I don't know what is going to happen after that, if Tinubu would have to now pot, because it's going to be there's going to be division, definitely. I don't think it's going to take it lightly. But for me, I would advise that if Tinubu loses, which is likely to be, he should just, back Peter Obi. That's what I would recommend. If he wants to make amends for some of the things that the government of the day
make amends.
Yes,
because they think that there's anything to be amended.
They brought the governor. Yes, of course. By now he knows, because he didn't. I'm sure he never expected that there'll be some contest against him at this point. Even if he expected, it shouldn't be someone like Osinbajo.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Someone he also put there. And I don't want that's a story for another day. Osinbajo being a traitor, that's a story for another day. I wouldn't root for someone like that. No, for real, if you want to say it as it is.
It's not traitor. What do you mean traitor? We're talking about Nigeria here.
No, but
you get some kind of things. Sorry, let me just switch it up a little bit. You get some kind of things where go the reason loyalty. We are in a position. Have you seen where Naira is right now? Have you seen the state of the country?
Osinbajo is part of the current government.
Yes, it is. Yes, he is part of. I agree with you, but my point is, it's not even about who Osinbajo is. It's about any other person who is supposed to have been loyal to Tinubu coming up. Even if it was Osinbajo, even if it was Peter Obi that was even against Tinubu, it's not for me. When it comes to politics, or when it comes to even not just politics, governance, I'm more interested in governance than politics. How things are actually made to go down than the politics of getting the people there. Do you understand? Country is bad. It's bad. If I feel like I can fix Nigeria and I have 100M, I would have gone to pick tickets. Do you understand what I mean? So at this point, we can't just be looking at. I'm talking as if I'm Osinbajo. I can't just be looking at, I'm loyal to this man. But if I feel like I can do a better job than this man, I might as well, because it's a bigger thing than my loyalty. What is at stake is the lives of over 200 million people. What is at stake is the lives of the future generation of Nigeria. Bare people can't eat. I know middle class people who are starving.
Ima, practically, let's be honest. How do you feel like you can do better than someone that is meant to be when you are already in the government and you're not even doing half of what you're expected to do?
Which vice president in the history of Nigeria has done anything? Do you think that, in fact, not just Nigeria, go even to America, which vice president, except for coming to stand and give speech and stand behind the president, which of them? The one time that Buhari traveled, the first few times Buhari traveled and handed over to Osinbajo made decisions and you Nigerians were clapping for him. By the time Buhari came back, Buhari said that's not going to happen any longer. Now, even when Buhari travels, he doesn't hand over any longer because the guy has not even been given the chance. And I'm not supporting. Everybody that knows me on this space knows that I have no preference in terms of candidates. So I'm not supporting. I'm just an argument that the guy has, and we can't judge. We can't judge the vice president.
For me personally, loyalty is
because the vice president
loyalty is the core
value. Somebody has
loyalty is a very core value.
In what relationship or politics?
For you, relationships or politics? In any dimension at all, across every dimension.
I expect loyalty from my husband.
Loyalty is very core. No, it's core because someone that cannot be loyal to is I don't want to say Godfather now. Someone that can be is likely to also be disloyal to Nigerians as a whole.
That's a breach. So, I think that Nigeria, personally, this is my own argument. I'll let you speak. I'll let you finish your point. But my own argument is that Nigeria doesn't need someone who is loyal. Because if you are loyal, every seat has a godfather. Osinbajo will enter that seat now. If Osinbajo wins, imagine, wild imagination.
Osinbajo is loyal. Osinbajo is loyal to the government of the day.
Let me finish my argument.
But his loyalty is in the wrong direction.
You see, you are replying the argument I've not finished, so you're replying wrong. So let me finish the argument so you can reply right. So my point is now, Osinbajo, if he wins, he's loyal to somebody, and that person is not Tinubu. So it's whatever that person says that he's going to do. Do you think that that's what Nigeria needs right now? Or Nigeria needs someone that will be like, no, I want to do it this other way. I don't think Nigeria needs someone who has loyalty ties at this point. I think Nigeria needs someone who is ruthless enough to be like, I'm not going to follow what the people that put me here are saying. I will do what I know is right. That's my argument, but you can go on with your point.
Okay, all right. So what I was trying to say is that Osinbajo is loyal, but his loyalty is lying in the wrong direction. He's loyal to the government of the day. They know these things. That's why they are pitching him in. It's obvious. But what I expected him to do, I didn't expect him to even contest against Tinubu. It's not Tinubu's bet, right? Yes, and I'm not even rooting for Tinubu. I'd rather go for a PO than a BAT. I'll go for Peter Obi as compared to the APC flag bearer, whoever turns out. But loyalty for me is core across every dimension. PYO should not even be contesting. If Lawan was contesting, if Amaechi was contesting, I can understand, but not an Osinbajo contesting against Tinubu, and that sends a very red flag already. For someone that can do that to
when it's not your girlfriend, it's a red flag.
Yes, it is. I'm serious. I know, like for real, it is, because if you look before 2015, where was Osinbajo? Before 2015, where was Osinbajo? We didn't even know him. Tinubu brought him to.
He was in church preaching.
He was
preaching the world.
But it was. I mean, it was Tinubu's boy per se. Tinubu brought him in. Tinubu, put him forward, and I feel like that alone, that alone should be enough reason for him to hold Tinubu, disrespect, But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a good plan for them if they pitch PYO, because it's going to be very complicated for Tinubu to be the flag bearer, and then you begin to think of who is going to be his vice. How do you now have a Muslim ticket or a Muslim Christian ticket? So they know these things, and they don't want to give probably the opposition that edge, against them in the general election. So, but I'll wrap up by saying that if Tinubu loses this, which is likely to be, at later in the day or by tomorrow morning, I believe the voting should have been concluded. I would recommend that Tinubu should just pitch Peter Obi. I don't know what that's going to be for his own ambition or whatever it is, but if he can, let him root for Peter Obi. Give Lagos to Peter Obi. That's going to be a lot, and we're all going to appreciate him for that, because at this time we're not even interested in the current government. We're not interested in the current party that is in government. We're not interested in what is going on currently. We're interested in somebody that is competent. We're interested, even if Tinubu becomes the flag bearer of APC today, I won't vote him actually. But this internal party election as well it also affects the results.
It actually does, because it's who they put out, and that's one thing. While people really hate Peter Obi for leaving PDP, I think that was a very wise decision he made, because based off of the party politics determines the choices that Nigerians have, which for me for years has been really the fuck up, because if they give you all bad choices, and many Nigerians don't believe in splitting votes, that if I go and vote all these other parties that are not as popular as PDP and APC, my vote will be wasted. And that has been the problem for years. But coming back to your argument on this loyalty thing, and I like to believe this, since you said give us Lagos, we give Lagos to Peter Obi, I wanted to see you and someone that is in Lagos. So that means you're conversant with Lagos politics. So that means that based off of Ambode's situation, you kind of support that, even though Ambode was doing well, but because his loyalty not that we publicly know, but like we all know that there was an issue with the Kim and Tinubu situation. So you are okay with the fact that although this guy was doing so well, because while he was in office, loyalty or his head became stubborn, so off, and then he was put down. Do you really support that?
Sorry.
Please, don't speak. No, you were not the one that was to speak. Oh, there's a key for raising your hands, so your opinion is very valid, but it has to be your turn to speak. So FSG, let's go.
Oh, sorry.
Ima, first of all, I'm not privy to whatever transpired personally between them. There's a lot that may have happened at the background.
None of us are privy to the personal stuff, but we all have our suspicions.
So yeah, exactly. So, and our suspicions may not be correct. Yeah. So I don't know, but what I do know for real is that Ambode was doing very well. I would approve of that. Ambode was doing very well. I wish that it continued.
And as someone that was doing very well, do you think that the Lagos State people did not want him back?
I think some people wanted him and some people didn't want him.
Fair.
I think some people didn't want him, and 14 was trying to raise. I think it was more of an issue, and then so they had their own party crisis and all of that, and then at the end of the day, they voted again. They voted him out. So I don't know what transpired, but when it comes to performance, I know Ambode, to be honest, he was doing well. But I don't know what happened internally. This is
the Nigerian politics we're talking about. If we want competency, someone was competent and he was put out, and nobody feels like questions should be raised. These are really the issues.
Questions were raised. A lot of us were not silent. A lot of us expected that Ambode was going to be the person. But there are certain things that a lot of us still voted Ambode. To be honest, the guy had votes, and where are the people that voted? So the people that believed. When you talk about when I'm talking about vote, I'm talking about internally. Now those that supported him per se and said, okay, this should be the person that should still continue this thing. So people still backed him up, but certain situations were beyond our control. Certain situations are beyond the control of the people. That's a fact. That's the fact. And yes, and that's why to some extent we've said getting PVCs, yes, is good. Let's get our PVCs, but there are certain things that are also important apart from getting PVCs. There are certain things that are also important apart from getting PVCs. So there are certain things that are beyond our control that we don't know we don't know that is happening at the background. But doesn't mean that we supported it. Not everybody supported it.
All right, thank you very much, FSG.